The theory of total productive maintenance was developed in the 1950s by Japanese citizen Nakajima. Known as the father of TPM, Nakajima is responsible for the thinking of production on cars such as these for manufacturers such as Toyota. Firstly, TPM aims to increase the productivity of the organisation. This requires careful management and high levels of employee engagement. Employees should be motivated as they are a crucial part in making TPM a success.
Equally, total productive maintenance attempts to increase an organization's overall equipment effectiveness. Overall equipment effectiveness involves performance, availability, and quality. All factors are measured so that issues can be identified and corrected. Lean production, which aims to reduce waste from an organization's operations. Waste has a negative impact on a business, which include higher costs and increases lead times of production. Lean production uses methods such as just-in-time and Six Sigma in an attempt to eradicate waste. Lean production may be achieved by an organization's attempts to redesign the manufacturing process and to respond to market trends. Kaizen is similar to lean production as both emphasize the importance of continuous improvement. Improvements must come from all aspects of the organization, from top-level managers to employees. This is an ongoing process where the organization does not settle for what it has and continues to aspire to achieve better practices.
Both these organisational processes link to TPM as they require high levels of employee engagement. Neither lean production nor Kaizen can be achieved without employee contribution. Similarly, both processes are likely to increase the organisation's overall productivity and performance as standards in the organisation rise.
Advantages of TPM. The first advantage is less unplanned maintenance time. This is oriented around employee empowerment and encourages employees to take ownership of the machinery, which increases production time. The second advantage is a safer working environment. However, this will be discussed further on in the video. The third advantage is increased quality output. This is a pillar of TPM which integrates improvements into the production process. And finally, the proven impact. You can measure TPM by using the OEE, the overall effectiveness score, which gives you numerical data to fall back on to see effective results.
Disadvantages of TPM include an inadequate knowledge of TPM. Due to the time and expense that it can potentially take to implement the knowledge of TPM within a business, it shows how it can be slow and can be cumbersome and expensive all the same. A lack of leadership and management support is another disadvantage of TPM. If there is no help from higher ups, then TPM can be long and cumbersome to implement. Final disadvantage is cultural boundaries and potential cross-cultural mismanagement that can occur. Careful management is required to implement TPM across boundaries and cultures as people have different ways of life.
So in this slide we're going to be looking at an example of total productive maintenance, and the example that we decided to use today is Jaguar, and it was evident to see that Jaguar heavily focused on the quality, dependability and reliability of the vehicles, despite them being known for engineering excellence and beautiful design. And they focused so much on this topic because one faulty vehicle on the road could completely ruin their brand reputation. So announced that undergoing all these checks actually saves them a lot of money, creates a more efficient workforce, it creates a safer and cleaner workplace, and together they help minimise a lot of breakdowns and minimise any rooms for error. The staff at Jaguar will undergo specific training, specific educating on all the new standards that need to be met, on all the new quality checks that need to be put in place. Because like we said, if one of the faulty vehicles gets let loose on the roads, then it could completely ruin their brand image. And then this obviously maybe could relate back to the labour force of Jaguar. To show how much Jaguar actually care about quality, dependability and reliability, they've actually got a section on their website designated just for it. And it also states at the end of every production line, every car undergoes a final set of checks. And this is so when cars are available for customers to get hold of, every experience is going to be a good experience.
The first pillar in TPM is autonomous maintenance, which include cleaning, inspecting and lubricating. This gives managers greater control of their equipment and also helps them identify any issues before they become production failures. The second pillar in TPM is planned maintenance, which organizes maintenance tasks based on measured failure rates. As a result, inventory is reduced through better control of failure-prone parts. The third pillar in TPM is quality maintenance, which applies the root cause analysis in order to eliminate sources of quality defects. This therefore decreases the number of defects and also reduces costs by identifying those defects early. The fourth pillar is focused improvements, which implies having groups of employees working together to achieve improvements in equipment operation. This is very helpful as problems are identified and resolved by cross-functional teams. The fifth pillar in TPM is early equipment management, which directs practical knowledge gained through TPM towards improving the design of new equipment. So basically, this new equipment reaches plant performance levels much faster due to less startup issues arising. The sixth pillar is training and education, which is basically filling in knowledge gaps, as this is key in order to achieve TPM goals. Therefore, workers can develop skills to maintain equipment and are able to identify any upcoming problems. The seventh pillar in TPM is safety, health and environment, which basically means maintaining a safe working environment. As a result, health and safety risks are eliminated and aims at having an accident-free workplace. Last but not least, total productive maintenance in administration, which applies TPM techniques to administrative functions, which makes it very useful as it extends TPM benefits throughout the whole company by targeting waste in administrative functions.
So total productive maintenance, including the 5 S's. Total productive maintenance and 5 S's are two methodologies that seem very different, but applying them together to an organization can boost performance of that organization. 5S is important when it comes to implementing TPM in an organization. It lays the foundation. So the first one, sort. This is when you eliminate anything within the organization that is not needed in the work area. This is important for managers when it comes to reduction in waste. This controls what goes in and out of a business. Second, set in order. This is the next step after sort. You organize the remaining items in the work area that is not needed in the organization. So when you sort what is needed in the organization, you need to prioritize the remaining items. Third, shine. This is once you have gotten rid of the items not needed and prioritize the remaining items, you then shine. This is when you keep the workplace clean and keep all areas inspected. This is very important when it comes to safety. Standardize. This is when you create a rule for the 3 S's above, which is sort, set in order and shine. This is important because it ensures that they are being followed, and for managers it is important because of how you're going to prioritize tasks and make sure you're following them. So creating standards for performing the above 3 S's, which is sort, set in order and shine. The last one, sustain. This is the most important 5 S because once you have followed the above 4 S's, which is sort, set in order, shine and standardize, and are en route to creating a positive TPM, you have to ensure that all of the above 4 S's are followed. As managers, it is important that the last 5 S, sustain, is set in place so all the remaining 4 S's can be followed every day till it becomes a normal working routine.
So, this section of the video is covering the fact that there was an issue identified in the car. So a consultant who is specifically a TPM specialist came to identify the issues.
One of the issues was the light, as you can see in the video. Both the consultants are checking it out.
The TPM specialist checks the light afterwards, and then they will move on to a
body panel in the car. Underneath the car, as you can see, there's a mud flap that's falling down.
Yeah, and once again, the TPS specialist is checking it and marking it down.
He's showing that's on the front and the rear, both the mud flaps, and the rear quarter panel is sticking out.
Yeah, and again, the TPM specialist is checking it out and trying to identify potential solutions to all of these problems that he's facing.
Another big problem that the TPM consultant discovered was that the door was a bit sticky and it needed a hard slam to shut the door.
Yeah, and he definitely double-checked this because he slammed the doors right after the initial person showed him. This was just to make sure that the problem was a distinct problem.
I'm here to find out the ways I can improve with my improvement ideas and solutions to the problems in this car, okay?
Right, to get improvement, we need to give it a problem.
Okay, what the
So
problem?
obviously, the first problem, the light on the side.
Okay, so what we do about the light, we make it smoother because there is a lot of friction, and we pointed out the problem with the car earlier, okay? So I said that if we make it smoother, there's less of friction.
And a better adhesive.
Yeah, better adhesive would obviously be a good solution, but it's also expensive and we need to think about cost.
Okay, right, moving on, brother. So the next problem is we got some flappy panels on the bottom. They're not attached properly.
I was thinking of using a better adhesive for that instead of the light. I feel like using a better adhesive there will save us cost, and it will allow us to use our resources better and use them where they're needed, okay?
All right, mate. And the final problem is that, you know, the door, it jam a lot. Very sticky, man. We open the door, you go bang, shut.
I was looking into these revolutionary lubricants. They are quite expensive, so I was thinking of using a cheaper form. But these lubricants are quite adhesive, and they don't stick too much, so the door will open and close easily.
Right, apart from that, that's the problem. When we sort them out, we're going to sell it for £2 million. Why you telling me on it?